Hello, everybody. Hopefully, we're live. Hopefully, you can hear us. Let us know.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hello.
Chat, can you hear us?
Sunny in Seattle, raining in Los Angeles.
Yay,
What's
they
the
can
world
hear
going
us.
to?
I know, isn't that crazy? I was just thinking that the other day where Christina was like, oh, it's sunny in Seattle today. I was like, it's not like that here. How
It's just
odd.
a perfect time to talk about weather. We really wanted. It's the ultimate icebreaker conversation. That's
Yeah,
why
we're
we did it.
immersing ourselves in the future, by
Mhm.
experiencing it firsthand.
It was because Nera had a lack of small talk, and so we just needed something for Echoes to just chat about while they were just waiting for things. Any deeplings? No, but this light rain is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Wow, we got a lot of first-time chatters. That's really awesome. I'll give some quick shout outs. So thanks for the first-time chat. Ratings. Also, I love that. I don't know if it's like a llama, if it's cat in a rave. I like that emote. First-time chat from Vapin Gamers. Welcome. And a first-time chat from Nerdy Existence. Vapin Gamers. I didn't actually think about that when I read it, but now that you've said it aloud.
They're out there and they're vaping.
And then while we were offline, we actually had some new follows too. So I'll give some quick shout outs to some of these might be a little, we might have been asking last time, but just in case. Zeska DBE, thanks for the follow. Kapu Chronicles, OP Gamer 12288, Gladius Maximus. Oh god, this one. Njord Ingebar,
Nailed it.
Samael
Got it.
33 Mas 2, Summoner Wagner, Ghost Gale 8. Oh my god, another really hard one. Actually, well, they subtitled it separate. Vaping Gamers, thanks everybody for the follows. Thanks for joining us in the channel. It's really awesome to have people tuning in. And thank you for the resubscription from, oh my god, Asteroid. It's like asteroid, but like
Incredible.
spaced
I'm so
out.
glad you're doing this and
I
I'm
know.
Asteroid. I think you got it.
Asteroid. Awesome. Well, we're here today to talk to you about weather. The forecast in Nera is weather. We're adding weather to the game, so we're here to show a little bit about that. But we'll kick off our stream with some introductions. So, Ben, who are you?
I'm Ben.
Who's this guy?
You just said it. I am a Treehouse developer. I work across a lot of different teams. I have written some of the music. I have done some of the sound effects. I have written some of the lore. I have worked on some of the performance. I have made some encounters. I have done a lot of different things. Boats, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, that's me.
Awesome. And Kyle, who are you?
I'm Kyle, senior environment artist. Make props, trees, plants, do a little bit of level design in the world. Anything that you see that isn't moving around like a creature or an echo.
Steph is a lot louder than the others, especially Ben.
What?
That's funny because you're pretty loud on my end, but I can turn you up. I actually have you at 72% in my Discord because you're loud as fuck.
That's right.
Loud as fuck. I'll turn you up a little bit though.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm always going to be a little louder, so I'll try to balance that out. I'll move the mic a little further from my face and be a little less hype. Honestly, Discord audio is a huge struggle. Also, I'll introduce myself in case you haven't been to the stream in a while or in case you're tuning in for the first time. I'm Stephanie. I'm the producer at Treehouse, so I handle a lot of the roadmap, what the team is working on and when, our patch notes, our dev streams, how we communicate and gather our feedback, how that gets back to the team when we do playtests, all that kind of stuff. So you probably see me talking a lot in the forums or the Discord, listening to your feedback. So that's a lot of what I do. Awesome. So welcome to our dev stream. Woo! Sorry, I always like shake the screen really erratically. Just some announcements before we get to like the actual dev content. So the game is currently on sale right now. So this is a reminder. This is the last kind of like week of the sale. So the sale ends on February 24th. It is a 34% discount, so pretty hefty. Brings the game under $20 USD. Hopefully that's exciting for people. And it is both the base game and the Founders Pack are both on sale. So now's a good time to buy one or the other if you haven't bought the game yet, but you've been waiting. Now's a great time to buy. And the Founders Pack is also on sale, so if you were on the fence about that before, hopefully a good time to buy. But buy it by February 24th, or you'll have to wait for the next sale. And then another reminder, just that we have an update. We'll be talking about parts of that update today. We have a big update coming. Our target date is March 30th. I don't think we've announced this before, so this is the first time we're saying the exact date. But our target date for that patch is March 30th. So that will be our big spirit update with our updates to like the sanctuary. That'll be like weather. That'll be farming. That'll be a bunch of new features. Fog of war, all kinds of stuff. Actually, I think I spoke out of turn. Fog of war is probably coming later, but a lot of cool new features. So hopefully you'll. I didn't mean to lie. We've been play testing it, so it like was in my brain. But hopefully a lot of other actually true new features coming in that patch. You can check the roadmap for accurate details about what is in that patch. Our roadmap is updated for our entire 1.0 period, our run up to 1.0. So check that out on our Steam page. We did also a whole dev stream about that, maybe 2 dev streams ago. So if you're interested in what the roadmap, what like updates were, what's coming down the pipe, either check on the Steam page or check out that previous dev stream. Farming poggers. It is poggers. I'm really excited. Farming is very fun.
I like that picture. Good photo you took there.
Oh, this one? Yay, thank you.
Yeah.
I spent so much time setting up this like little base, and then like there's probably people in our chat know we have like a photo mode that like gets rid of the HUD, but we don't have like a true photo mode, so I had to do all these things with our debug tools, like play the animation and like detach the camera so it would like pause the game and like fly around the character. It was like honestly kind of horrible. But I got some really good screenshots out of it.
Yeah, it looks great.
Really fun. Awesome. But yeah, so that's just a reminder. So hopefully you're excited about that patch coming up. We're really excited. But otherwise, I think we'll actually start to kick into our dev stream content today, which is we're talking about one of the features coming in that patch, which is the weather. Ben, I'll follow you on the board, or if you're on the board.
Yeah.
Are you on the board? You're not.
I'm in the board. I'm right here.
I don't see your face. Let me refresh it.
I'm hovering over Miss Frizzle right now.
Okay, now I'm following you. I couldn't see your avatar.
Does this mean you're following me? So wherever I go, you'll go?
Yep. Just like that
total
song.
Control. Wherever did you go?
That's where I'll follow.
Let's talk about the weather. What's up, guys? This is really exciting. This is something I think we've been dreaming about adding for a really long time. I think the environment for Nera, Kyle's work, and a lot of the work of people who've been here setting up like what this world is and what it means to travel through it, how it feels, has been one of the most, like, for me personally, one of the most rewarding things to get to do is like crafting how the stones feel, what the water looks like how the sun sets, all these. It's just really fun work. You get to like look outside for inspiration and get to like play and try and feel. It's very like emotional, and it's just a cool spot to be. And one of the things we've always wanted to do is the weather. We have a really great sky. We've got beautiful clouds. We've got an awesome sunset. But, you know, this day after day after day in Nera, it's just a beautiful, partly cloudy day. And we wanted to start investigating how can we create some dynamic? How can we create some interest? How can we make this place feel more like a real location and kind of add some new things here. So first, like why did we want to do this? Well, one thing we've always talked about with Nera is we wanted this place to feel like living. It has to be an alive place. It's not static. Things are changing. That's kind of what alive means. And what I think weather does a really great job of from like a storytelling perspective is you log into the game and it's a sunny day, you play for a little while, you close the game, you know, you go to something, and when you come back the next day, you log in and it's raining. All of a sudden, it makes the world feel like things are happening while you're not there. The world is like, you know, is continuing to turn and things are happening. And I think it makes Nera feel more like this sort of, it's not just a game, it's maybe a real place, and there's, you know, things are happening beyond what you see, which is always a really fun fantasy, I think, to get into. And then secondly, it recontextualizes things. You can spend a day on a particular island that you love out in the reef somewhere and have a great time sailing there and have a nice easy way back. But then you want to go back and maybe it's foggy or it's raining or during a thunderstorm. Like the same trip is not the same trip anymore because something has changed. It's a new variable. And it helps, I think, keep a world like ours, which is, huge but static. It's the islands don't move and it's the same map you load into every time. So what weather I think really helps us do is make similar trips feel different. Now there's a new kind of something you got to work through to do all this. Right, the same beach, same fog, different vibes, and different gameplay is what we're hoping. It's not just going to be like strictly cosmetic. We're hoping that the choices that you have to make, what that means for your adventure. Is it wise to go out now because maybe the weather's not exactly what you want? Do we need to maybe we'll hang out in the base, wait for the rain to cool off, and then we'll go try and do that spire. And lastly, something I just added last minute next to Miss Frizzle is that because we're like an ocean game, I do think that there is a kindred spirit between the ocean and the weather, as like they have always intermingled. They have a lot to do with each other. They affect each other often. And I think if you really want to capture that like seafaring experience, what it means to be a mariner, you know, sailing in safe seas versus sailing in rough seas, like I think weather is a key component to like really getting the ocean to feel right. And that's something we're going to have to kind of figure out is how much, with our ocean state and how our boat moves, like can we get the boat really rocking in a storm? We have a different physics set up. We're going to have to kind of figure that out. That'll be on me. I will do my best to deliver that without tanking your performance.
Yeah, it's always been a bit of a struggle to balance like fun, more realistic like ocean simulation and also does it work for multiplayer and does it work for performance?
Yeah. It is like the more the ocean moves, the more that means that everything has to move, and a moving object in a video game is so much more expensive than a static object. So yeah, I think we have levers that we can pull, and I do think it's really important to make it feel like the sense of sailing through a storm is such an evocative fantasy, and that's something I think we really want to nail. So we're going to work on that to make sure we can get something that feels really cool. Yeah. So next, I think maybe we want to talk about like what is weather in a game. I think it's easy to kind of think about it as one system, but especially for us, it's really the joining of a ton of different components and levers and different like visual states. So I'm going to pass it off to my man Kyle, and Kyle's going to talk about how do we like what is the weather, how it's made from this '90s TV show that I brought.
So I'll share my screen stuff.
In
Let me know if you
Discord?
can see it.
That is?
Yeah, does that work?
Oh, that is perfect. Hold on one moment. I can see it. Popping it out. Let me check if it's on the stream. It is on the stream.
Okay. So here we've got a view of like unprocessed Nera. It's unlit. This is kind of just what the textures look like. Kind of cool, but pretty flat. So I'm going to add in what's called specularity, which is kind of just like reflective stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to turn on the sky dome, which is the first step in making it feel like you're in a world. So this is just a flat texture, but it gives you kind of a base. Oh, whoop, I looked in the wrong direction. It always is really slow when you look that way. So this is our base sky dome. So it's a pretty simple thing that's going to be the backdrop towards all the other elements. And now I'm going to turn on lighting. So you see instantly we've got a lot more feeling of what the shape of this is going to be. We've got shadows, we've got light areas, but it's pretty contrasty. We basically only have one directional light source, which is the sun. So then we add in what's called the skylight, which sort of fills in those shadows with what the reflected light from the sky would look like. In the real world, when you're outside, you've got the sun, and then you've got the light that comes from the whole sky, which is its own light source, which is controlled by this skylight actor here. And then on top of that, we're going to layer what's called exponential height fog, which just sort of gives everything a little bit of a greater amount of depth from where the player's camera is to faraway objects. it sort of separates distances a little bit. You can kind of tell that this bridge here is closer to us than this island back here with the height fog. And then on top of that, we layer post-processing, which really makes a big difference. So post-processing is kind of like if you took a snapshot of your image in Photoshop and did a bunch of stuff on top of that. So each frame, the post-processing takes all of the pixels, and then it also combines that with a view of all of these different channels that we have. So there's what's called world normal, which is like a 2D image that combines red, green, and blue color channels to give you a sense of what direction things in the world are pointing. So like the surface of the top of a cube would look different than the sides. And then it also combines that with, you can't really tell what's going on here because it's like crazy Twilight Zone in the lower left here, but that's the depth map. So anything that's closer to you is going to be white, and stuff that's or closer to you is black, and further away is white. The reason it looks like this is because it's many multiples of, like, let's say 10, for example. So from here to here would be 10, and then 10, and then 10, and then 10, 10. And the post-processing volume uses that information combined with the world normal to do some calculations on top of what we've got to help us add additional fog, to like crunch the values a little bit. We can kind of add some bloom around really bright light sources, and it overall lets us adjust the final image a lot more than just those basic things would allow us to do. So that's the basics of lighting in our game, and then the weather system has to be put in on top of that. Ben, I don't know if you want to take it from there.
Sure. Watching you go through all those layers is still so crazy. Like, I don't
Yes.
know. It's like, guess this is why you use a game engine as opposed to sort of like building one from scratch, because each of those tools, how to measure depth, how to measure different vertical heights, masking, like an engine, we're using Unreal, comes with all these tools pre-built. And so if you want to be able to create environments like this and be able to measure the distance from the camera relative to certain things or the normal off of this, like having all these tools at your disposal is just so helpful. But whoever the geniuses at some point who are coming up with these systems to create this, it boggles my mind.
I know. Someone actually in chat was like, the combination of art and technology is wild. And yeah, I feel like I was like amazed by it while you're explaining too. It's like really crazy how complex so many, and like how many pieces kind of come together to create like what feels like a really beautiful like final image, but like there's a lot lurking like beneath the surface of that, which is like really interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of really great tools at your disposal to create specific effects for like how, like just like with this weather, like what happens if the camera moves through things, how do we occlude objects that are far away to give that like sense of atmospheric perspective. And I think what's really fun about this is you can, when like researching like how should this place look, like what does it feel like, you get to take a look outside and observe like, well, what is the sun doing. I'm in Texas right now, and like we get really great sunsets here, and I was looking at how the color gradients vary from where the sun is going back. There's this great blue, like this like blue, dusky blue gray. And it's really fun to like, you can take a picture on your phone and then go back into the game and say, I want this color because it was this sunset that I saw, and you get to like apply that in here. It's really fun. But so mechanically, so now we've got all our tools basically, and let's go back to Steph, maybe the board really quick.
Yeah.
We've got each of our tools. Like Kyle just went over skybox and atmosphere and height fog, and we've got these volumetric clouds. We've got our time of day. We've got directional lights. We've got our post process. We've got Niagara VFX. And so now what we need to do is basically each weather state, you can kind of think about like the forecast would be a weather state. You've got sunny, you've got partly cloudy, you got rainy, you got really rainy, you got thunderstorms, whatever. Each of those is kind of a weather state. And each of those states can kind of be described as a combination of these effects. Like a state for rainy would be, well, what would rainy be? Okay, it'd be rain. It'd be a lot of clouds. It'd be kind of dim, maybe because the sun is not going through the clouds. We want the clouds to kind of be gray. We want the sky to be gray. And so what we do is first we author a preset.
Pictures are A
that
plus
is,
on the board.
thank you. Yes. This is actually honestly the best part about making these presentations is getting to just put as much junk on here as I want to. But we start with a preset, which basically lists out. We have it in they're called like data assets for like rainy, and we list out each state. The clouds should be. We want this many clouds, and this is their color. We want this much rain with this yada yada yada. And our setup for triggering them is we have it's called the weather component. The weather component lives basically in the server side. And we have a pool of different weather types, like sunny, stormy, overcast, etc. And what the weather component basically does is just rolls, like you would roll in D&D or something. It rolls on, hey, which weather should I have? Picks one, sends that out to all its clients, and then it rolls again to see what its next weather is going to be. And then there's all these different odds strategies. Like you can put in, if you roll stormy, you can't roll stormy again. So we don't want to have you like two back-to-back storms. If you haven't rolled a sunny day in the past 4 or 5 weather settings, we're going to force you to roll a sunny day. And this is basically in video games called bad luck protection, where when you want things to be random, but you don't want them to be truly random, because like true randomness, you'd be surprised how often if you say like, yeah, just pick a random weather, and it should work like weather does, right? Well, you'll get a stormy day followed by a stormy day followed by a stormy day and no matter, even if you set the percentage really low, there's always that chance that someone, and especially when you have a game, we have as many great players as we do playing the game for as long as they play, somebody somewhere is going to roll I rolled 20 lightning storms in a row, what is happening to my game? So
Dude, that was
have
Tim
to
yesterday.
yeah, it was. We
like,
were doing the internal testing, and it was just like so many rainy days in a row.
Yeah, we
But
literally
so we
thought
were,
like the weather was like broken on our playtest because like we were like happy and in the sun and it was like great and awesome, and then Tim was like, it's foggy every day in my world, what is happening? We're like, oh, interesting.
and that's something where like we get to dial in as well. And we want to hear back from our communities. Like, how does it feel natural? Do you like you're not rolling too many rainy days in a row? We want to have like variance so that things feel unique, and you can have kind of like it's not always the same like playlist of weather. But we also want to make sure that we're not like getting people into a state where like, I guess I just live in a rainstorm now. Don't want to be. We were calling it Pacific Northwest mode. We don't want you to be a too Pacific Northwest mode. So we have all those bad luck protections in as far as choosing what the next weather is going to be. Then basically, once the weather component chooses what the weather is, it passes it down to the weather manager. That's local to each player. And then we transition between each of these states. And then basically, there's it's almost like like on a soundboard, you have all those different dials that you push. If you're like controlling lights or something, it's very similar to that, where we just transition between like a lot of clouds down to a little clouds, the colors shift, and we blend between these two states. And this works like side by side with the time of day, because essentially like the sky's coloring is dependent upon 2 factors: what time of day is it multiplied by what the weather is. And so those kind of blend over each other. And we also can control like different time of days have higher chances for weather. So if we wanted to like say that you have less of a chance for a rainstorm at night, we can do that. So it's really, I've been working on kind of dialing this crazy machine together. It's been really fun to sort of work with like, what are the odds for things? What feels natural? How often do you get things like a thunderstorm? That kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of the brain of it. And lastly, like, weather from a strictly cosmetic sense is really effective. But I think we want to make sure that it affects how you play as well. So I think the first and biggest, and probably had more of an effect than we ever thought, would be just straight up visibility. Being able to not see the horizon, and depending on how foggy it is, once you constrict your vision, especially on a boat, you guys are going to really feel, if you're out sailing and all of a sudden that fog rolls in and your cone of vision gets constricted, you feel much more, the adventure sense goes way higher. And it's really fun. We'll find a good sense for exactly how far you can see. But Just turning down the visibility has a lot of makes the world feel really unique and new. And then secondarily, like we now have to kind of go through and consider what makes sense for our current systems. We have things like building a house. How should the rain or the fog affect like your home? Should it rain in your home? Probably not. Um, we're setting up farming right now, and you can build farm plots that need to be watered outside. Well, if it's raining outside and you have a farm plot outside, logic would say, shouldn't your farm plots be watered by the rain? So we had to set that system up. There's a lot of other mechanics and systems in our game that we need to kind of consider how weather should affect that and how it affects the gameplay. So we're working on that now. And yeah, it's been really fun to kind of recontextualize all our systems. It's like, okay, well, we had combat before, but what if combat in the fog? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, we were like, what if monsters have like low visibility as well as players, so you can
Yeah.
like maybe sneak up on them
Oh.
better.
Forgot about that one. That's a really good idea. Let me write that down.
Write it down. Write that down.
I know. That's a great one. Enemies.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I think there's a video actually recently we posted on like probably on all our socials, and Kyle was in that video actually. We were sailing in the fog for the first time, and it was like the world looks so different when it's like so occluded. And like even like the boat is like working the same, but it like has an interesting effect on how it feels to be on the boat in that low visibility with the rain, with like the sounds, with like everything kind of coming together. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's been really fun to start standing this up and play with it.
Someone asked, maybe it's a good time to take a few questions like this. So we will do a little brief pause. Will weather cause item degradation?
I would say my first thought is probably no, because I think that durability on items is basically like a you have to go home gameplay effect. Once your axe breaks or your pickaxe breaks and you want to go, you have to go back. And if like rain increases the speed at which that happens, that in a kind of secondary way, it decreases the amount of time you get to spend away from your base. I do see some interesting effects from that, being that going out in a rainstorm, do I want to do that? Maybe I want to wait. I can, we'll go back and we'll sleep, progress the next day, sunny day, and then we can go out and feel safer doing so. So that is interesting. Yeah, maybe we'll consider that because that's a cool idea. I could see something like that being interesting. We'll talk to the durability people. We'll see what they say.
Will weather, like wind, affect the way we sail?
That is another great question. We have been circling wind as far as it relates to the boat for a while. I think this is probably like something that I have been keeping away. My experience with wind and sailing probably was affected a lot by Valheim. And Valheim has a system where if the wind is behind you, you sail forward. And if the wind is in front of you, you basically can't go anywhere. And while that I think is realistic and does create some interesting like sailing mechanics where you ended up having to kind of like tack and go left and right to move places, it felt, at least with what Voyagers I think is aiming to be, which is like slightly more approachable with still a level of challenge. Their system felt like, or like a directional based wind system, felt maybe it might be too frictiony for the style of play that we wanted. Now, I could see a version of that where wind only ever boosts you, doesn't ever slow you. So there's still an advantage to going with the wind, but there's no penalty for going against the wind. Yeah, but it's something we're interested in. We have basically everything set up. We have like wind directions. We can apply gameplay effects to make the boat go faster. So like it's lingering in the background. If this is something that you want and love and think it would be awesome, continue to hound us and me about it. Yeah, we have all the levers. It's there.
Yeah, we're definitely looking for suggestions or community feedback on like what you want to see weather do, what's exciting to you. So definitely keep posting your ideas, posting your feedback. Just to touch back on the question about durability, because I clarified that they also meant like more so like maybe the base or like boat weathering. I think probably a similar answer, I would guess. I don't think it's like a never that we ever consider like base degradation, but currently we're kind of not planning to kick into a system like that. Again, because of the kind of style of play that we want to support in the game. We want it to be a more like creative, expressive system for building, especially, and for building your city. And we want it to feel like a safe space. That's why we stop monsters from spawning. That's why we currently don't have like base raids or concepts like that, because we do kind of want you to have your like safe bubble a little bit when you're like at your base. So it's not like off the table if people are really, really interested in that, but we don't currently have any plans for that. In terms of like the boat, we actually have talked about like, there's like lightning components to storms, and like, could lightning strike your boat? And would that be like really interesting or fun as like an emergent kind of like gameplay during a storm? Ben, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. We are actively thinking about it. We are actively prototyping things about it. We've played around with it a little bit internally. It is definitely exciting. It's really a tuning question because the boat's ability to steer away from those kind of dangers, I think, is pretty limited. We are able to basically signal where a lightning strike is. And a lot of games do this, where you have the anticipation, you see like something gathering in the distance, you go, oh no, and you have to steer away from it. It is very cool, and I think we are going to kind of investigate if we can find a system that feels exciting and not frustrating, and fun and thrilling. Definitely thrilling. We were playing with some early prototypes, and we had some audio in there, and the audio was way too loud, and it
was so scary.
caused us to scream. So yeah, I think lightning in games is great. Ever since Final Fantasy X, shout out dodging lightning, or my FFX.
I thought you were gonna say.
heads up.
I thought you were gonna say Final Fantasy 13.
No, I'm older than that. So yeah, lightning is cool. We're thinking about it.
Awesome. And then I feel like there's. Oh yeah, I wanted to say thanks for the first time chat adventures with Dread. But I think questions have slowed down a little bit. So maybe we keep going. What do we want to show next? I know we were talking about, do we want to show some in-engine stuff and show the various weather states? Actually, and something we haven't talked about, I realize, is what kind of weather states are we currently planning to have? Are we? I know we're still exploring a bit too, but it'd be interesting to hear what types of weather states we're thinking about, what we currently have, what we're ideating about.
Sure. Kyle,
is that Kyle? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I have a list handy. So we is there one on this mural board, or okay? Here's the one that I sent you a while ago. So kind of the first rough draft we had is sort of a clear variations on clear sky, so no precipitation. Starting at clear with like low to no cloud cover, so like a really bright blue day, and then from there moving up to sort of medium cloud cover, probably basically what we have in Nera currently, postcard perfect blue day with puffy clouds. Then maybe something up to like mostly cloudy with little patches of blue, and then an overcast sky that's maybe sort of more of a like diffuse light gray, the kind of sky that is maybe not the kind of sky that you would want every day, but every once in a while it might provide a nice bit of difference. And from there, we would maybe move into precipitation. So you'd have light rain and fog for more of like an atmospheric Sherlock Holmes kind of a vibe, heavy rain, and then thunderstorm with lightning. We were also looking at doing heavy fog until precipitation, and then a lighter fog, which I think could especially look great in conjunction with sunrise and sunset. Just a little like low-lying fog kind of makes things feel a little bit more damp and atmospheric. We're also going to be looking at, this is not exactly weather, but making some changes to our night sky, and possibly having some more dynamic events that happen related to like a nebula being visible, maybe some shooting stars.
I'm so excited for that. I feel like nighttime skies in games is like always my favorite. I'm always really excited, especially when one has like a really, like, I don't know, like expansive like starscape. Maybe it's because I like really like stargazing, so I'm like really biased. But I love that. Awesome. Do we want to hop into engine and start showing off some weather?
Sure.
Let me start our server up. Cool. And so I think that will probably enter a little bit of a more like casual AMA format. So I think we presented everything we planned to, right? Nothing else.
I think so, yeah.
Perfect. So we'll I think hop into game together. We'll show you guys what the weather is kind of like looking like in game right now. Show up those terrifying lightning strikes. It's funny. I think the ones in the beta too are toned down from what they were. They're quieter. They were even louder. It was so crazy.
I like the loud lightning.
It should be.
It was
lightning. It was terrifying.
I'm gonna load our natural prod file too.
Okay. What change list are we on? Do we know which one this is?
Oh my god, people see my like stupid server names on the
I
screen.
was amazed by a whole new prog.
That was not the one I was shy about people seeing.
That wasn't the one?
Okay. Now that I'm like really embarrassed. Let me get the invite code for you guys. And I'll post it in our Discord streamer lobby chat, I think. If that works for you guys.
Yeah.
This is our like playtest file. So for people that don't know, we actually playtest pretty much every day, and we sometimes vary it between like more. Oh, this isn't our latest prog file, so we can kind of do whatever we want. I meant to load the latest one so they could show our cute base. But we playtest and we kind of like simulate like starting the game from the beginning and going through like natural progression, or sometimes we kind of like pick a progression point and load in. You know, we're like, hey, we want to go through like the reef and see like these features. So we playtest every day and try to experience the game like players do.
Like players do.
We also had some questions come in while we were kind of transitioning. So one of them from Canis, the true Canis. Would it be possible to have some sort... This is not related to weather, just to be clear. Would it be possible to have some sort of magic resource finder or scanner? I was watching a stream and they were frustrated while looking for a particular resource. That's something we have talked about in the past. I think it's kind of interesting to think about, like, what kinds of things it would look for. Like, would it be, like, you know, like a tuning rod that you, like, pick a resource you want to look for and it, like, hunts just for that? Would it be specifically only for, like, magical items? So it's something we've definitely been interested in the past, but we don't have a current, I think, plan to implement it. But if there's a really specific use case, I think we'd love to hear more about it. Do you guys have any more thoughts on that?
I love. I was at the beach the other day, and there was somebody with one of those like treasure scanners.
Little thingies. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, great hobby. I'm happy for that guy. You know, how do you get into that? I don't know where you start. Is that like passed down from? This is my grandfather's treasure scanner. But those, that's a really fun. Like, I think I've seen games where they have like, you know, nearby you ping a resource that's this way. I think Satisfactory had a great one with that. So I love those mechanics, and I do think that like we have a huge world that's both like on the surface and underwater. So probably giving players a tool to help, you know, give them goals and things to chase would be great. For it.
So we're definitely now calling that a treasure scanner from now on.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
A metal detector.
That's what they have at the airport. That's the treasure scanner.
And someone else asked, any hopes for a double jump? We actually will have a double jump. I wonder if you can see it in this tree, or if it's well, it will be specifically for people who have taken the Path of the Wind, and it is one of the like. Here we go, coming soon. Double jump. It is one of the further down abilities you get for being with the Wind Spirit. That's our current plan. It'll be interesting to see once we have that feature if people, you know, really want it but like don't want to play that play style. Is there also like another way to offer that that's like a different type of investment, like a trinket or like a I don't know, some other trade-off, so that like maybe it's still like exciting for the Wind people to get it but through their companion, but maybe other people could access it through like a different or maybe even more difficult path. But there will be a double jump, so if you're a Wind Spirit person, for sure you'll be eating good.
Eating good. I'm getting beaten up by a fish. Hold on, I'm coming.
Yeah, I know, I see you over there.
Okay, I don't know why.
Oop, 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 oop. Yeah, I see planters. Yeah, we were testing some gardening stuff in this particular playtest. I'm sad I didn't load the cuter file. Our new base is so cute. Someone said, I see the watering mechanics have improved. Yes, we've been definitely working on that, especially with a lot of the great feedback we got from the beta. So we've been working on watering to get it to be more clear, have a little bit better feedback about where you're aiming and what's happening. Let me refill my watering can. I need an unwatered plant. Kyle, can you plant a new seed?
Yep, I'm doing that right now.
Yay! Look how cutie they are. Oh, this plot is already watered all the way. Shoot.
Howdy, howdy.
Why are you naked?
Me? I'm wearing
You're
a
both
necklace.
naked.
I mean, you're not much better.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Glass houses.
Any clothes?
Let's see, do I have any seeds? I do. Only plant fiber, but that'll be enough to show. Let's dip up. Let's see, what do we got in chat? How about putting markers on the map for resources? I think what you mean too is like specifically probably like a custom marker, so like that you can actually like label parts of the map with like where you found something, or like, oh, like I want to come back here. We've definitely talked about custom markers on the map. I think we would definitely really love to do that. We also actually did have, I don't know if it got cut because we were a little scared of it, but we had an idea for, I think it was the Earth Spirit, as you like leveled him up, that he could reveal important resources on the map for you as well. So like as you were like going around the biome, you would be able to like see them on the map because of your Earth Spirit leveling up. So we may still consider things like that too. But yeah, definitely that's something I think, if nothing else, improving the map usability is something we really want to do. But I think specific ideas too of like how to like kind of play with like map visibility and like companion abilities or items like a treasure scanner or like things like that are really exciting to us.
Treasure scanner.
Treasure scanner. As someone who's been following loosely, what can you do with farming? Is there going to be more recipes for buffs? There's not currently new recipes, though we have talked about that, especially because I think as we've been like looking through the feedback. Also, Ben, you should start setting some weather.
Okay.
Make it rain or other weather states that you would like to show.
Okay.
But yeah, we have talked about maybe filling out some of our recipe catalog a little bit so that it's, yeah, there are more things to cook and more options or more combinatorics. So that's definitely something we have talked about. But mostly we think that the benefit of farming will be, we're going to retune some of the resources in the world because they've been quite generous to make sure that people don't starve. But now that you have a system like this that you can kind of invest in, you'll be able to find seeds in the world, you'll be able to bring them back to your base and actually like grow the food. So that, I think especially, I don't know if you guys had this when you play Test Live, but I have this feeling all the time that I'm like, oh, I have 2 out of 3 of the things I need to make a specific recipe, and it can be really like frustrating. So hopefully farming will be a way that you can like actually make sure you have the types of foods and resources available that you want to be able to grow, and hopefully in a fun way.
You can also use it to decorate.
Yeah, I love to do that. We actually do have one like almost purely decorative planter, this like little stone planter. Actually, Kyle, I planted a plant fiber in this yesterday during the playtest, and it was actually so cute. I was like, oh, it's like a little house plant. What about underwater farming?
This awning that someone made for the
Oh
spirit.
yeah, I felt bad for him. He was getting rained on.
Well, he left.
Oh, thank you for the subscription, Morning Darkness. Welcome in. Hey, Don.
What's up?
So what about underwater farming was the question we got. We would really like to add that. That was kind of in our original list of things we wanted to add as farming features. But as you can imagine, building like a whole new farming system is just kind of like a big effort. So we focused on getting like the basics of farming and how that system is made first. And I think we'll revisit things like underwater farming. But you will be able to farm vegetables, plant fiber, and trees. So that'll be hopefully exciting. But yeah, so is this our like heavy rain state? Is this our light rain? What state is this?
It's coming down here.
It's coming down. It's lit.
Yeah, well, again, all these are extremely tunable, which makes it just so fun from a design perspective to like figure out like different rain states, how foggy it is, what the colors are. I just love, Steph, you come over here, look at this. Just look at this crevice over here. Look at this cliff in this fog.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Look at this. How rad is that? This is just giving me real
Like Oregon.
Nathan Drake vibes here. Oh my god. Real Naughty Dog vibes. And this one of my favorite things when we were first playing with the weather system was the hand out here.
Oh yeah, because it's kind of like hidden from back here, but as you like move into view, I see a thingy.
Yeah.
It's like really cool how it kind of comes in.
Yeah. I had to disconnect. I'll be right back.
Woo. Also, it's funny, like even actually like, because I'm playing with like the game volume on for the stream and like also in Discord. It's almost funny even like how like you were like talking to me and I'm like, what, Ben? I can't hear you.
Yeah,
like,
I can't hear you.
It's really kind of funny how it like changes the way it feels even to just like be playing the game normally. Let's see. Someone asked, not sure if it's been asked, but do you get a seed back every time you harvest the crop? We did make the chance, I think, pretty high that you would get a seed back, but it's not 100% because we do still want you to have to like collect plants in the wild sometimes or be incentivized to. So it's not a 100% chance that you'll get a seed, but I think it is likely that you will get a seed back from farming. Weapons on the back button win. It's kind of in the game, so it shouldn't be hard. Well, Kyle, actually, I think you really wanted to add that. Oh my god, I'm hitching. Ah! Sorry.
I'm joining. It's me.
Is it hard? Is it not hard? Why haven't we done it?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like a Luke question, right?
Yeah, I think probably like the base answer is we have a lot of things we want to do. Sorry, my game keeps freezing while Ben is joining.
All right.
We have a lot of things that we want to do, and we always have to be choosing which things to do because at the end of the day, our whole company is only like 11 people. So there's like just not... We're working on a lot of stuff all the time, and we always have to pick what we're working on at a given time. And I think things like that are a little deceptive with like how easy they seem because just because it exists in like one animation, it might be like, oh, we have the art state for that, like we can have the visual way that it looks. But adding like a new button means you have to have a new keybind, which has to be rebindable for players, so we need to find some like actual accommodation for that. It means we need to make sure that it works properly with like game state transitions. It means we need to make sure that like when you're getting hit by enemies, like nothing weird happens while you're transitioning your tools. There's actually like a lot more, honestly, than almost any feature in games generally, because there's so many interactions with systems and like when you can do them and how they could interact. So we would like to do it. It's on our list. It is probably gonna... It's probably harder than I think you might think, but it's probably not that hard on the grand scheme of things, so I think we will get it done. It's just a matter of time.
There's a lightning bolt right over there.
I know! By the way, will you have any presents at GDC? Yes, we will have a few people on the team at GDC. So I think it's going to be Michael, Ryan, and Dave, if you've seen them on any of our past dev streams, so keep an eye out for them. Oh my god! By my tree! I struck my tree. Nothing catches on fire, luckily, so at least there's that.
Yeah.
Will there be seasons? What do you think, Ben?
That's a good question. We probably could set that up. I think that's maybe something we could fold into down the road. That would be a cool add, especially like go Animal Crossing style and fold it into the real season as you play. So sort of like the world again recontextualizes depending on what time of year you're playing. Would be really cool. Yeah, we'll note that for the future. That would be rad.
Also, Don did say, let's be clear, because most tropical islands don't have seasons. Is that true?
That's true. That's true.
I don't really know anything about tropical islands, ironically, for working on this game.
Yeah, the latitude of Nera is varies based on kind of what we need it to do. I think we try to keep weather and plants and things consistent so it feels true to life, but we also like want to be able to bring in things that might not always be like exactly real, so that we have our toolkit to be able to do like I don't know, a hailstorm or a snowstorm or a firestorm or whatever we need. Yeah, we like to bend the rules where we can.
I do think that we are talking about having different weather in different biomes. So right now it's pretty much the same across the board, but we might see more variation between regions in the future.
Speaking of, I teleported to the reef because I think it just lightning. It just looks so cool in the reef when it's like raining and foggy. I think because of all of the like really high like structures in the reef, it looks so ominous.
We needed this rain. We needed the rain.
Mm-hmm. Typhoons?
Yeah.
We have talked about in the past wanting to do things like storms too. I think that's again probably something we'll probably revisit after we have like basic weather stood up. It's always a little hard when you're making features like this. So like, you could try to stand up a bunch of systems all together all at once, but they often like build up on each other, or even like they change the game in a way that you like can't anticipate if you're building so many things at once. So we chose to go with a more light, I think, implementation of something like weather, so that we could kind of explore like what the baseline gameplay feels like, what the baseline experience kind of feels like and changes. And then maybe in the future we'll kind of kick into like, do we still want to do storms now that we have this? What do we think would be cool, if anything? How would that work? Will you talk about the lights in the deep? I said don't want to give spoilers. Do you mean like the lore? Like what are they? Or like why do they repel bad guys? Or do you mean like something else? Also, thanks for the first time chat from Travesty. They said, this genuinely makes the game so ambient. Love it.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Oh, not the guiding lights,
like
the something else.
Than the rain.
It's so foggy. Oh my gosh. Should we go for a sail? Good luck.
Oh yeah, we could. Oh my god, it's very fun. I went to the lighthouse to look out, because I think what they might be meaning too is that there are now, the spires are maybe now like raised up, and they kind of emit this like more ominous, more towering presence. And especially you can actually see them, normally when it's not foggy, you can see them actually in through the deep, but they're actually the ones for other biomes. We don't currently have any like additions to like the deep itself, but they were always technically loaded in visibility forever, but you couldn't see them because they were like lower, and that we had like a deeper fog in the deep zone, which we kind of reduced the fog in the deep zone. Oh, they're kind of coming into view now as the fog is like dissipating a bit. We reduced the fog in the deep zone so you can actually see a little further, just because we thought our world is like so beautiful, and it's kind of sad that like it's so occluded when you're looking from a really high vista. And we raised the spires so that they could be like a cooler gameplay call to action, but they had this side effect that now you can like see the spires from like many biomes away. I think we'll probably figure out a good balance of that, so that's like clear that they're like a much further off objective. But we are planning some updates to the deep zone that we'll start to work on for our June patch, so that'll be exciting.
The spires also used to have a large like miasma sphere around them, so you couldn't see the spire itself. You could just kind of see this undulating blob on the horizon, and I definitely prefer this look personally.
Yeah. Revenant went, I'm always too late. I know you're coming at the tail end. We're still going for a few more minutes. Yeah, this is the new spire look that we're sailing towards. So yeah, they've been pulled high into the sky, at least the base spire. Oh, sunset. Moody. It's a vibe.
Yes.
Dawn said, did I mention I've added Nera music to my son's night-night playlist? That's so cute.
Aww. That's amazing. Set this up.
Set what up?
I'm in here dialing in weather. I'm full Wizard of Oz mode right now.
Oh, look at the clouds clearing.
Isn't it nice?
Oh, not sure if this has been asked, but will the weather, like rain, water your crops? Yes, we actually just added that in our internal build. It's not in the beta yet for people playing on the beta, but we will. Oh my god, the sun looks pretty. We will. We have now rain, water, and crops, and I think we're looking into other gameplay stuff that will add to weather states as well. Are there plans to add more music to the game? That one's a
We
little
always
difficult.
want to.
Yeah, we always want to. Composing great music takes a lot of time and effort, and Ben is our game designer, lore writer, audio designer, and music guy. So he's got a lot of stuff on his plate. But we do always want to add music, and we have some like old tracks too that maybe we'll be able to incorporate into the game someday.
Yeah, that's true. I think let's do this.
Sky's pretty.
Sky's pretty, but not for long. I think as we head towards the spire.
Oh.
It's rolling in.
We should have weather
There's a
around
bird
the
is on my
spire.
camera. Oh yeah, we just talked about like, oh, that's like an option now that we could have like special like weather and like localized zones. That was something been added, I think, literally this morning.
Yep.
That would be really cool if like even on a sunny day, if it was like raining and scary or something in the spire.
Oh my god, it's pouring! Oh no.
Let's see what if it was like this every time.
I need shelter.
Oh,
I think it was this way, right? Yeah, I just need to head straight. Oh, I see the...
Wait, yeah, where did it go? We can't see it anymore? It's too foggy?
It's
Oh my god, yeah,
Oh.
holy.
Whoa,
I see it
ominous.
going up.
It got so
Kind
foggy.
of fun that yeah, we can see it from the outside, but once we
Whoa,
enter
there it
the
is. There it is.
miasma,
Oh, I missed. I suck.
Man.
Whee!
We're here.
But yeah, and so for people who have played before when the spires were underwater, there is still like points to hit. You still have to go underwater to actually like do the encounter. And this big spire still does have like nodes, but it's just at like this like larger piece. This like big POI is now above the water. And you could never hit this. And actually, I think when it was below the water, people would often go to those like glowing holes and be like, "Oh, do I need to hit this?" And we're like, "No, no, no, no. You need to hit these other things."
no,
So
no.
I think actually it has like a nice clarity add too. Actually, I did not take any resistance, so
Same.
yeah. We're just I didn't eat any food. We're just out here.
We're just out here firing.
Teamwork makes
I'll
the
get the
dream
boat.
work.
I'll get the boat.
Question, will there be some kind of wave mechanics with weather later down the line? We did talk about this a little bit at the beginning of the stream. I guess, Ben, do you want to recap your thoughts on that?
Sure. We have the ability to do a little bit of wave and how it affects the boat. Basically, we made a decision early on with how many objects we want to have floating, how many swimming enemies we needed, how many swimming fish and like NPCs and resources we needed. That to have a oh nice,
Nice.
to have a hold on, I have to control the weather. To have a wave system that would basically affect all those objects from a performance standpoint was scared us a little bit because even with just a few objects, an object in a video game, an object that is moving is so much more expensive than an object that is stationary. So especially for things like floating mines or fish that have to like navigate, how do they swim through, wave systems not go too high? It gets a little complicated. It's not something that we're against, and we set up frameworks initially to, if we wanted to be able to go there, we can. I do think we have some levers that we can pull with how much waves the ocean has, how much your boat rocks on top of it, and what the ocean looks like. Because I agree that like rains and storms, in order to really feel like it's, the ocean and the sky are talking to each other, they should feel like they're affecting each other. So that is something as we're building these systems out, we're going to want to kind of make sure it feels true. This is nice. Wait. Okay, last one.
I feel like the fish following us onto land will never leave us somehow. Every time we try to fix that bug, it comes back. I don't know why.
Is he still out there again?
Oh, sometimes, when the mood strikes, I think.
Uh-oh. Getting a little stormy out here.
Getting a little stormy.
And we're
Awesome.
still
Well,
in the early stages of dialing in these weather things. So if you see anything, you're like, I wish it had more of this, I wish it had more of this. This is all stuff that we can tune and dial in to really get the best possible experience.
Yeah, actually, this will probably be our last question, but someone added, related to that question. Does rain add any player effects that might combine with elemental trees? That's kind of interesting that we haven't thought about.
It could, yes. We've been thinking internally about, like, does being out in the rain do you have like an exposed O-meter? That is how much you're getting rained on that you have to mitigate. Is like, we already have cold in the game. Does being out in the rain like make you cold? Is there some other way to, like, oh, look out! Oh, it's close. I have no idea where we're going, and I'm totally lost. Let me check my map.
I'm like, I have the inventory up. I don't even know where we are.
Oh, that was close. That was right behind us. Sorry, I was answering somebody's question, then I got distracted by a lightning bolt. Effects. Yes, we're thinking internally as how we can kind of, like, incorporate what's happening outside with what your character does. That's a great idea. Like elemental effects. That makes a lot of sense. Oh my god, we've got to get off this boat. Where's home?
Oh my god.
This way, I think. This way.
Yeah, where are we even going? Where are you trying to go? Home?
I can see. Yes, I think we're heading back to the base. I think it's this way. Yes.
Yes, I think.
Yes, I think
It's hard to tell. Go towards the guy's face on the compass.
I think I can see the lighthouse orb up there.
Oh yeah, I was wondering that. I couldn't tell if that was the moon or the orb. Also, someone asked, is that a new inventory screen? Yes. We've been doing some little updates to this to try to make it a little bit more clear. Give these like a little bit of like an icon backing so you kind of know what they are. And also some more like tooltips so you can kind of be a little bit more guided towards like, what is this empty slot and what goes here? And try to just clean up some of the text that was on the screen too, because there's a lot of overt labeling because we wanted to make sure that you knew what was in it, but hopefully these kind of like swaps will make it a little cleaner, but keep some of the clarity. And you'll now be able to see, we've cleaned up the buffs on the bottom left of the screen, as you'll kind of see. So that's my chili debuff. You can tell it's a debuff, hopefully, by this little down arrow in this red color. But in your buff screen, you'll be able to hover this and see the actual details of this. So this will apply to any buff or debuff that it's applied to you. So like encumbrance or corruption, you'll be able to like actually hover this and see information about the effect. Luke has been working on this, his life's passion, making the UI better.
We almost got struck by lightning a lot. And that was scary.
But it doesn't do anything. What if it did stuff? Would you be even more scared?
Yes. And I'm already terrified of it right now, and it currently doesn't hurt you, and I'm already terrified of it.
I think it'd be fun to have increased chance of being struck by lightning when you're on a boat.
Yeah. It'd be very fun until it starts becoming not fun.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. Wait, we need a sunrise.
Yeah, make the sun come up.
Yeah. Let's see if that works. Ah, we made it through our stormy night. It's safe. It's
Awesome. And that, I think, is a good end cap to the stream to end on this view. So thanks everybody for tuning in, for asking really fun and awesome questions. I hope you really enjoyed the behind the scenes peeks about like how weather works and some of the nitty gritty about the tech behind it too. I think it was pretty fun. But if we didn't get to any of your questions, you can always ask them in our Ask the Devs chat or in the Voyagers chat. Also, if you want to playtest and give early feedback on these features, we do actually have a bunch of these features. They are missing some stuff you saw on the stream today, but we do have some of these features playable on our beta right now, which there's instructions for how to join the beta in our Discord or in our Steam forums. Or if you can't find them, you can also just ping one of us. Oh my gosh, shooting star, I saw it! You can ping one of us if you can't find where to go. So yeah, join our beta, give us early feedback. That would be really awesome. And otherwise, we will transition to our stream ending. We will find someone to raid, and we'll close it out. But we'll see you again in another 2 weeks for another dev stream. Thanks, everybody. Say bye, Ben and Kyle.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
I was waiting for Kyle to be like, bye, Ben and Kyle. I'm still waiting for it.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
No dollar.
Okay, I'm gonna mute us and we'll transition out and we'll raid out. So hopefully stick around for the raid for someone else who's playing Voyagers. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.